witch strike, which leaves a lot to the audience's imagination. The witch isn't on screen that much, and when she is, she's often obscured or in some other form. We're not supposed to fully understand the witch or what she's doing, and we're left in the dark and forced to use our imagination, just like the Puritans, which is how these folktales developed in the first place. That uncertainty and paranoia is part of the witch's spell, so to speak. It's a weapon that the witch uses to create chaos and to manipulate those that she's after. Back at the farm, Thomasine has returned home and the family's in shambles. They fight, they shout, and there's even a slap throw. Thomasine once again volunteers to put the goats to bed, and in doing so, she finds Caleb naked in the rain. Again, we don't see the witch, but we feel her presence. The family doesn't know what's wrong with Caleb, but for the first time, an adult in the family, Catherine, throws out the theory that Caleb has been bewitched. Meanwhile, Thomasine goes into the barn to milk the goats and catches the twins talking to Black Phillip again. Now convinced that Thomasine is a witch, Mercy accuses her of bewitching Caleb, which Thomasine denies. As she goes to milk another goat, she's horrified to find that the animal produces blood. This is another characteristic of a witch. According to Eggers, they steal milk from farm animals, dry it, curdle it, turn it into blood, and drink it. A little later on, Mercy is once again singing a very specific and frightening song about Black Phillip. They hear a scream coming from inside and go to tend to Caleb. Before his accusations continue, the witch seals his mouth shut with some kind of unseen magic. William forcibly pries the boy's mouth open with a knife, and an apple pops out. The apple is a recognizable symbol of the original sin. It's the fruit that Adam and Eve famously couldn't resist in the Garden of Eden, but Eggers also said that he found an Elizabethan witch pamphlet that told the story of a witch who gave the children poisoned apples. This is most likely the origin of the poison apple trick, as this pamphlet predates Snow White. This apple incident is the final straw. Catherine is convinced that Caleb has been bewitched, and the dastardly twins start pointing fingers at Thomasine, having been fooled by the whispers from Black Phillip. They claim that Thomasine took Caleb to the woods and gave his soul to the devil, making a pact with Satan by signing his book. The idea of signing the devil's book comes up multiple times in the story. The myth goes that in order to become a witch and gain the powers of the devil, one had to sign a covenant with him. During the Salem witch trials, if one person testified against another that they had signed the devil's book, or if somebody was accused of trying to get another to sign it, that was considered hard, damning evidence of bewitchment. William isn't so quick to believe that Thomasine is a witch, so he does the only logical thing. He forces her to say the Lord's Prayer at Caleb's side. This was also a common practice in the days of the Salem witch trials. It was believed that anyone bewitched or possessed by the devil would be simply unable to recite the Lord's Prayer. This was one of the more common ways that the clergy would test a witch's innocence. Although there was a famous instance of a man named George Burroughs who was suspected to be a wizard and the ringleader of the group of witches in the late 1600s. He was sentenced to death by hanging, and the proceedings were supervised by Cotton Mather himself. George Burroughs shocked the crowd by reciting the Lord's Prayer perfectly with a noose tied around his neck. Some people in the crowd were convinced that Burroughs was innocent and that his life should be spared. Cotton Mather called it an anomaly and hung him. Back to Caleb, the family begins to recite the Lord's Prayer, and to the surprise of everyone, except for Thomasine, only the twins seem unable to recite the prayer. They claim that they've forgotten it, and that it's making them ill. This is pretty solid evidence that the twins are possessed, but Catherine doesn't want to believe this, so all hell breaks loose. Caleb interrupts the chaos again, claiming that the witch